So we were talking about how we could, getting down to the whys is how do we identify people that could be leaders in the workplace to start, and where do we go to get those champions? And so we were sort of taking, we don't know any actually, and I just suddenly launched back 4 years ago to a little personal story where I was just a nurse on the floor, just a nurse on the floor at that time. In Emergent, one of the docs came through who was doing a special project on a particular unit. And so he was doing his little PowerPoint, blah, 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 with his admin assistant in the room. And you go to these things and you have your coffee and you think, oh my God, another thing. And it was just, you just sit there and you go, oh yeah, whatever, just get it over with. I need to go back to my work, or I need to go home because I'm tired. And all of a sudden I sat up in my chair and I was just firing off all these questions. And obviously something hit to my heart somewhere, and so I left and I went back to work, and Lawrence, the physician lead, comes running after me down the hallway and he says, wait, where did you come up with all that stuff? And I says, I don't know, I just got dumb and asked some questions. And he says, no, I think you need to be my nurse lead on this. Well, that was the nurse champion, right? And I didn't know at that time. I guess I was a bit of a positive deviant, and so that's kind of an example of how you might find a champion, is let them self-profess. And so until today, I just never really thought about it.
So our goal is to inspire change. We will be the Obamas of Winnipeg. We're not going to tell them what to do, we're going to inspire them to do it. We don't know how, but we'll inspire them.
The biggest thing from our conversation is that every single person of a community, of an organization, of a group needs to feel that piece of accomplishment, and that I'm important, and that I've started something, that I can be just as committed and give contribution as much as anybody else in a group, and to have that feeling. Okay. That drives people.
I think that's the whole goal of healthcare. It's to provide safe, efficient, and effective patient care, and protecting them from disease or any falls prevention or any safety issues that we encounter.
In our organization, in the quest for standardization and creating a huge health authority with lost individuality, the older staff are disgruntled because they're no longer happy working under those conditions. So I see PD as an opportunity to get them more engaged. Where HR is always talking about how do you recruit and retain the different generations, and I think for the younger, what is it, the Y generation now, that this is something that they will really become engaged with too. I think it'll really help with retention.
Like maybe somebody high up and somebody who's right at the front doing the hard work, and pick a couple ways to describe, to invite them in. What would you say to them? And what are you trying to do, maybe a two-part thing, what are you trying to do culturally, which is include them and change, and what are you trying to do for health or for clinically, or
to change your numbers, or
to change your numbers, whatever those things are. So play around, and I think we'd like to hear after you have that conversation in your home team, what are some of the good things you came up with to really have a focused invitation to others to join in or support your work.
Across the board with our arrows and other things. And it's not whether we actually reach that. We're looking for reductions. We found that we hit a plateau like many sites have. And we want to know how we're going to get to that road to zero now that we've hit that plateau. We want to know what else we can learn. PD and the process of PD being one of those places that we think we've got some things to learn, some new methodologies, some opportunities that we haven't considered. And then from learning this process, we'll learn from what we have in-house and our resources available. I think the other thing also too, in our Road to Zero, we look at it not just as a patient safety, but as staff safety. If staff are safe, our patients will be safe. So the two are tied together and synonymous as well. And we're willing to look under any stone and turnover, any log to achieve our Road to Zero. So that's our purpose and our goal simultaneously.
Thank you very much.
We could tell him how much money we could save if we decrease infection cases. And then not only because length of stay will be shorter, but also we don't have to spend money on all their supplies like gown, gloves, and mask, and things like that. For frontline, we thought about what they said, but at the same time, what we thought was humanize individual patient's story. So if we decreased, let's say, 2 cases of C episode this month, what it meant for those 2 patients. For instance, if we had 2 less deaths this month, what then mean to that patient and family, and then also let them talk about it. Nurses talk about their own story or family story, or did you say family story? Yeah, their own experience or perhaps a family story. So humanize their.
We know we need to change behavior. We need to make sure that people, and just don't focus on infection control, just focus on one issue. And we're talking about similar to bringing in like guest speakers engaging on what families had gone through if they've had C. diff and seeing a family die and things like that, and the barriers, and just getting the human factors and feelings into it so people can actually relate to that tragedy, and hopefully that might engage people. So we're thinking more on that line. Obviously the ultimate goal is to reduce healthcare infections across the board, but if we focus on, say, one item, it would probably just be more widespread and affect others and reduce rates for MRSA, VRE, or anything else as well.
Right, by concentrating on one, you expect it to apply more.